Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Railway. Today we're going to talk about a really cheap, great little innovation idea that anyone of any age can do at home on their model railway. And if you need a little bit extra help, you can always ask mum and dad or granddad or someone in the family to give you a hand. But really, guys and girls, this is so easy. You can do this at home. It's really cool. So, talking about lighting on a model railway, and not just talking about the light that illuminates the layout in general, like a light bulb in the ceiling, but what I'm talking about is characteristic lights that have a function to create a scene or an atmosphere on a layout that provide depth and realism. And I think one of the things that's great these days, you can go on the internet and you can buy some great lighting features for the layout, platform lights, street lights, LED flickering lights, you name it, you can create it. But one of the things that comes in a little bit of a snag is it can be a bit fiddly and it can be a little bit expensive, and if you're not used to soldering things and wiring up things properly, it can be a little bit bewildering. Anyway, I've come up with something very cheap and very unique, and that's what this channel is all about. Not that I'm a cheap guy, but I like to put out ideas that are virtually inexpensive, and certainly for the younger people out there or the first time modelers, these are some great ideas that you can go out and just buy and put on your layout and job done. So if I move the camera over here, we've got one of these. Now that is a solar panel, and it belongs to an old set of LED garden lights that I was given recently, and half the lights worked and half didn't. So what I did, I actually sat down with a pair of wire cutters and I cut off the access lights that weren't working and kept the rest. So we've run the wire down as there's the battery pack on the wall. It's not staying there, it's just temporarily staying there for a reason, because it's being charged as I speak by the light naturally coming in from the window and also from the light in the room, the ceiling. So what it's doing it effectively is charging that power pack up, and then it's ready to go. On the power pack you've got an on and off setting and also a flashing mode, and I'll show you basically what it's going to be doing. So it's summer 1962 on the layout. It's the early 60s, 62 as mentioned, and steam is on its last way out. The green diesels are coming in, and there's some great music in the charts, and guess what? Everybody's heading down the pub for a nice summer evening. And that is what you can do with some solar powered LED garden lights. Is that or not cool? And obviously with the Christmas period coming up to us very soon on the horizon, it's that time of year almost again, another great idea for the layout. These don't have to be Christmas lights, they can be garden party lights, they can be anything you want. As you can see, if I turn the light back on in the room, if I turn this on, obviously they go off, because as soon as it detects sunlight, the lights automatically stop and it charges up. If I want these to come on automatically, or should I say constantly, all I've got to do is just take the solar panel off like that, and if I flip it over towards the ground, or if I hide it underneath the layout here on the controller ledge, there we go. Doesn't matter whether you turn that on or off, you still see them. But anyway, this is a little great idea, guys, I'm just going to share with you, and I hope that you enjoy that. Quite simple to do. These are, say, relatively cheap, and what I've done, because they're quite a stiff wire that come with the lights, they sort of anchor themselves around anything you wrap around. So obviously I've put it around the chimney there, around top of the roof, and just gone underneath and hid it underneath the foliage there on the front. And I think that looks quite effective. So there we are. A little bit of illumination for you. If I pick this panel back up, they'll go off because I'm going to just hook it back on the wall up here out of sight, like that. So that goes back up there. It's charging. It's quite funny at night time if I have to come in here for something and I walk in and it's flashing away. I don't realise it's on a solar panel, so you can turn these things off. Anyway, that's a good little idea for me to you. So if you're out there and you see these in the shop somewhere, like I said, this is I'll show you how thin they are. Look, let me just zoom the camera in, guys. As you can see, oops, come on camera, today. There we are. As you can see, they are quite thin, they're quite fragile. Not fragile enough to snap in your hand, but they are quite delicate, but reasonably tough at the same time. So they're only small, very tiny LEDs soldered in between each wire, and they are usable. So the other thing you could do as well, for example, let's say you wanted to make a row of garden lights, say for example, here we've got the back of the houses, and you want to put a row of garden fairy lights across there or around the house. You could do it on that same scale quite easily. Just some ideas. So there you go. There's my little pub lights. I think that's so cool. It actually reminds me when I was younger, when I used to live in Waltham Forest. There was a pub that my parents used to go in the mid to late 70s called the Ferry Boat Inn, just off of Black Horse Road in Walthamstow, E17, and it used to have these coloured garden lights outside, and I can remember those in the summertime, playing in the pub garden and seeing all the pretty fairy lights. I used to love stuff like that. Anyway, there we go, bit of reminiscing, bit of modelling. Anyway, let's get on now to running some trains, which is what you tuned in for, I'm sure. And this week on the layout, it's the turn of the L.N.E.R to take the star. So there we go. We had the LMS the other day, so sit back and enjoy some L.N.E.R trains, and I'll see you soon. Take care and happy modelling. Bye bye now.